Good morning. It's Sunday morning. I thought it would be a great day for a little sermon. It's classic, but I have a surprise for you, and I hope you won't turn off the video when I show you the surprise. But I have brought the Bible, the good old King James, and there's something in here I wanted to discuss. And let me start by saying that I know a lot of people have trepidation, they have histories with Christianity, with the Bible, that are abusive and problematic and painful, and I recognize that as a truth, and I also recognize the wisdom that is contained in all holy books. I believe all paths, not only do all paths lead to God, but all things lead to God. And so there's wisdom in everything, and my relationship with the Bible is similar to the relationship I have with most holy books, which is that I think there's some good wisdom in there. It being written and translated multiple times over the course of its history means that some of the things in there I take seriously, and some of the things I accept as a part of a different time, a different culture. And so that's my Bible disclaimer. I do have a relationship with Jesus. He's one of my spiritual guides. So yeah. Anyway, I think he said some interesting stuff in here, and I wanted to talk about something in particular that I think is going to be fun. All right, so consider the ravens. Did you know that the Bible, the good old King James, it says right here, Luke 12:24, consider the ravens. Consider the ravens. I always consider the ravens. I hope that you too consider the ravens. One of my alter egos is the raven. I am also sometimes a flock of crows. So I really, of all the verses in the Bible, this is my favorite. Consider the ravens, period. But there's more. Consider the ravens, for they neither sow nor reap, and God feedeth them. God feedeth them. How much more are ye better than the fowls? Consider the ravens, and consider the lilies, how they grow. They toil not, they spin not, and yet I say unto you that Solomon in all his glory was not arrayed like one of these. Fear not, little flock, for it is your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. Anyway, consider the ravens, consider the lilies, consider the earth, consider the natural world, and consider that everything is divine. Everything has God at its core, at its essence. Even the ravens, especially the ravens, maybe. So the reason I bring this up, and the reason I quote this scripture in particular, not necessarily as proof, but I think it's compelling evidence. It's compelling evidence for us to be able to accept the blessings that abound, the blessings that are our birthright as human beings, as divine souls manifested on this physical plane, and that we spend a lot of time worrying. We worry so much. And I don't think that we have to. You know, that's one of the things that we're all trying to step away from. We're trying to step out of worry. We're trying to step out of not trusting ourselves, not trusting the journey, not trusting the path. And that can be really scary if you don't have trust. It can be impossible if you don't have trust. Letting go of fear, that's a whole part of it. Letting go of fear, you have to learn to trust. And even when things look a little sketchy, even when it's the 0 hour and you have a need that has not yet manifested and you're really hoping that this need gets fulfilled. But what we don't realize is that there's fulfillment all around us. Being manifested in this physical body, being able to experience this physical world, this plane of existence, that's fulfillment in and of itself. And anytime you feel lacking, anytime there's something missing, is because you are not seeing the fulfillment that is in front of you. It's the present moment. The present moment has the fulfillment. And it might not look like what you expect it to. It might not look like what you consciously want to see. You might not be taken care of in the way that your ego wanted you to be. But you are always taken care of. And if you're not taken care of, you die. And then you're in the arms of the beloved. You're in the arms of infinity. So either way, worst case scenario. Worst case scenario, you shuffle off this mortal coil into the arms of infinity. So consider the ravens. Consider the lilies. They toil not. And yet God provides for them. The earth provides. It's all here. It's all sprouting up out of the earth. It's all sprouting up out of the void, out of nothing. And it's all very wondrous and very amazing and weird. Consider the ravens. And if God will feed all the animals of the earth, if God will feed the earth, if life continues to sprout, the sun keeps rising, life keeps living, keeps recreating, even out of death, things die, and new life sprouts up. I'm witnessing it right now in the garden. We've got some springtime plants coming up. I'm in Colorado, so it is still cold. We just got snow yesterday. It was frosty this morning, but we are seeing signs of spring, signs of life, signs the earth is waking back up and it's warming up. And we have all sorts of garden plans because springtime is here. Springtime is here, and it's a wonderful, beautiful celebration of everything that it means to be alive, that it means to be incarnated here. And you think, well, God feeds the ravens, that's all fine and well, but I have to feed myself. I have to go around and do all this work. I have to do all this stuff in order to be taken care of. And if you have expectations, if your ego has expectations and you don't want to be disappointed, then yeah, you have to do a lot of work. You have to get some stuff done. You have to toil. You have to toil to live up to your ego's expectations. But what if the expectations of your heart, what if the expectations of God, of your soul, what if that is so much bigger? What if that's so much grander than what you can even imagine? What if the way that the Lord would take care of you if you weren't toiling and weren't worrying? What if you weren't focused so hard on the struggle? What if you were focused instead on how wonderful it is to just experience all of this, to be here, to be walking the earth, to have the opportunity to see trees, to grow things, to make art, to make love, to have children, to not have children. There's so much that we could be enjoying. There's so much bounty and so much wonder. Like right now, there's a blue jay, a beautiful blue jay, just flew down, landed, blessed me with its brief presence. And what a joy! What a joy! There's lots to enjoy. There's a lot to enjoy when you recognize that fulfillment is here. When you recognize that it's all here, all the pieces are here, all is well, all is working in our favor. Because we are all this stuff. We are everything. And right now we're playing this little part. You know, I'm Reverend Hannah here talking to you in the garden with my cold nose. You're over there watching this video, contemplating sending a donation via coffee so that we can get our camper van for Thy Weird Ministries. Oh wait, what was it? No, that's not the point. That's not the point of this. No, the point is that the Lord takes care of us. The Lord. And by that I mean everything. I mean the universe. The blessings are already here. The blessings are here. Everything we could ever need is here. And the only thing that keeps us from truly enjoying the satisfaction of being alive is our false belief that we have to strive for anything. We don't have to strive for anything. It's our job to be. To experience all of this. And I find that it is more fun for me when I'm experiencing this existence from a state of wonder and a state of love and a state of excitement and a state of knowing that whatever occurs is simply part of my own growth, my own path, my own set of experiences that I wanted to manifest while incarnated as this being, this Hannah. And because God lives inside you, God lives here. We are that. I know that it's hard to walk day to day recognizing that truth because we think that walking the path, knowing that you are divine, means that you're always acting like God, feeling like God. You're feeling powerful. You're feeling magical. You're manifesting stuff. You're turning water into wine all over the place. You're in the flow. Everything's going great. That's not being God. That's a part of being God. That's one facet of human experience. Being God is everything. This bench that I'm sitting on is being God right now. But being God is it's shedding all the limitations that keep you numb to the experiences of life. You can't not be a divine being. Even at your worst, you can't stop being that. That is who you are. It's who we are. And so when you're having a hard time, or when you're not appreciating what's around you, or you're struggling to find gratitude, you're still being a divine being. That is part of this whole experience, is losing ourselves and finding ourselves again. It's a giant game of hide and seek, of tag. Hide and seek tag. You remember that one? So I want you to consider the ravens. Consider the ravens. Always consider the ravens. Jesus said in this holy Bible, consider the ravens. Consider the whole of the natural world. Consider the earth as your teacher. Consider the dead leaves on the ground as your teacher. Consider these little sticks growing up behind me. They're your teacher. Everything is your teacher. And the natural world, because it doesn't fall into these limiting prescriptions that human beings often fall into. And so when the grass grows, it just grows. That's what it does. It grows. When you see grass, that's grass being. It doesn't worry about, at least I don't think, I don't know, who knows? The consciousness of grass might be more vast than we could even imagine, but I perceive that grass doesn't have any hang-ups about growing. It's what it does. Grass doesn't get all like, oh, well, I don't want to make Hannah mad because I know she doesn't want me to grow in this part of the garden. No, grass doesn't care. Grass is like, I'm planted here, I'm growing here. Whatever happens, happens. If Hannah pulls me out, well, so be it. I'll just have to manifest as something else on the physical plane. So consider the ravens. That's what I'm saying. I wish that we would all... I pray, because I'm a very spiritual, holy person. I'm a reverend, after all, so I am praying deeply that you all find the wonder in the world, that you find the wonder in wherever you are, in whatever you're going through. Don't forget that there is going to come a time. There's always a time. Sometimes it takes many, many years. Sometimes it takes lots of processing. But with just about anything, I found that there comes a time where you look back on something horrible. It was horrible at the time. But put enough space between you and whatever you were experiencing, whatever lack, and you can look at it and you can, from some perspectives, you can laugh about it. And you can see, oh wow, I see why I went through that, and I see why I had to go through that, and I see why that was necessary for my growth. I see that if I hadn't gone through that, I wouldn't be able to fully express in the way that I am now. I wouldn't know nearly as much about myself as I need to in order to express fully. And so any of these so-called negative experiences, any challenges, they're really meant to show you who you are. And who you are is a divine creator. Who you are is a spark of creative energy. Why do you think we make art? Why do you think we build things, invent things? We can't help it. We want to create. And we're constantly creating. Even when we're unconscious about it. Even when we don't know that's when we're creating the most. And so I invite you, because of this unconscious ability to create, and because of this inherent, this deep-seated creativity that lives within us, because we are the creator. And we are, in our little human bodies, we're a microcosm of the macrocosm. That basically means we're a little version of the big thing. So the big thing is all 8 billion of us going around pretending not to be God. But when you take all of that together, that's the macrocosm. Anyway, now we're getting into some deep stuff. All I want you to do is consider the ravens. That's all I'm preaching today. Consider the ravens and stop worrying. Because if you stop worrying, if you release yourself, if you free yourself from the fear of worry and from the need to control the outcome of things, you are freed to experience the wonder and joy in every moment, even the yucky moments, even the challenges, because you recognize them, and you recognize even the bad feelings, even the anger, even the sadness, even depression, anxiety. All of that is a part of the complete human experience, the complete experience of being a little God manifested here on this plane, this physical plane, where we get to play. And I know it feels like, well, who has time to play? There's so many things, so many bad things in the world. We have to fix all this stuff before we can play. No, that's not the way. You gotta play first. Play will bring you what you want to see. Play will bring you to the place you want to be. Well, that was a poem. Thank you for listening to my sermon. I'm the Reverend Hannah Winters, somewhat disreputable. And I appreciate you allowing me to read from one of my favorite holy books, the Bible. Now go outside and consider the ravens, and play and play and play.